Welcome to the best Lumabooth tutorial. This is the 2024 Lumabooth tutorial. I'm so excited for this video, you guys. Make sure to stick towards the end. If you want to get Lumabooth at a discount, I'm going to talk about how you can get that and also get access to our Lumabooth private group chat. We created this Photobooth 101 Lumabooth group chat just in case you need more support, but that's at the end of the video. So enjoy this, subscribe, and in the comments, let me know what you think. Enjoy. All right, everybody, so now let's go ahead and open up Lumabooth. All right, so this is the first thing you're gonna see, right? These are the events on the left side. You see here where it says go to saved events. We're gonna go ahead and create a new event by pressing that new event button. And then for this one, we'll just call it demo. All right. Okay, so we're gonna go to launch event. And what's so cool about Lumabooth, like once you have this event created, all of these settings, you dial it in. If you have a new event, you literally just can copy the settings and change the name and have a completely different event. So let's go ahead and lower this really quick. All right, so let's start off from the top. We're gonna go through all of the settings here, right? The welcome screen. We're gonna go from the left side all the way to the right. The welcome screen is literally what people will see when they walk up to the photo booth. Super important to, customize this because out of the gate, you'll see where it says Kate and Jake's wedding. This is just standard, right? So what I love about it, Lumabooth has some pre-themed welcome screens. I'll be honest, not a fan of them. So what we like to do too here is basically go ahead and change the text. Since we do drop-offs, let me show you what I mean. So you can go through here and delete it. So if we're not staying there, we want to give instructions to the people using the photo booth. We will normally have it say, touch, button, and obviously you can put this in all caps and change the fonts. To start booth, I don't know why I said booths, but we'll go booth, right? And then you can change the color here. Let's just make it black. You can change the font, make it a little bit bigger, and you get the idea. This is if you want to do it through Lumabooth. You can always import a photo here to have your own font, and then you can obviously move where it's at. The background. Let me see. You can have it off. You could turn it on. So again, this all depends on what you like. And then you see here in the top left, right, where you see the people with the photos, where you see a little Lumabooth, you can put that off or on. When it's on, that, down to the right where we see, I just checked it, it says show browse button. That means if you have it enabled, people can click that box and see other photos that were taken during the event. So if they want to go back and share it and whatnot, or maybe even print again, you can have that function there. I personally like to leave it off just because I don't want the other guests to feel like other people have easy access to their photos. So again, look, for the background, if you want to select a photo for the background, you can literally select a photo there. And then again, the font. So if you want to select a photo for the background, you have to turn it on, then hit the select button. And then I always get this question, well, what size does the photo need to be for the background? And the answer is it depends on your iPad. So to find the dimensions for the welcome screen, you have to find your iPad's dimensions. And you can just go to Google. So if you have a 12.9 iPad Pro, just type that into Google, 12.9 iPad Pro, 3rd generation, screen dimensions, and then that is the dimensions. So just for instance here, like let's just assume this is what we want here. This is a template we're gonna press, but just to show you here. So you get the idea, right? That is just how you would add the image. Of course, you're not gonna have it look like a template. This is just to give you guys just a little look. So I'm gonna turn it off. We're gonna keep it basic here. And that's pretty much it for the welcome screen. You can hide the text. You can, again, browse button, change the font. So let's move next to print layout. Print layout is another way of them saying it's a template, right? I don't know why Lumabooth has it saying print layout because not everybody is doing a print, but this is where you would add your template. What I love about it is you can click the button, move it around, and right now you see where it says 1, that means it's photo 1. So I'm going to press the blue one, and that is photo 2. Then photo 3, right? And then this right here is photo 4. So we're just going to go with 3 photos. And then if you want to delete that photo, so let's just say you want to delete photo 4, you go to the right side and you press delete, right where it says selected item. And again, guys, this is a 4x6 template. You can always go to where it says preset on the layout or on the right, and then do a strip. If you want a classic photo booth strip, boom, you have it right there. That's that 2x6. And then again, you can adjust if you only want photos. And then you notice how photo 1 and photo 2 here are they're in landscape. If you want to change it to a vertical photo, you just click right here where it says selected item. You just switch back from that. So let's go back to preset and let's get a 4x6, which would be right here. I am going to add an overlay template, not an overlay, just a template that we made in Canva. So I'm going to delete photo 4. And here's something a lot of people get confused with. When importing a template, obviously you need to have it saved to the iPad or to the iCloud. People press this import button, right? And if you notice when you press import, I just did that, you won't have access to the photos. The button you need to press is where it says place, add image, then you can press it. So let's just go ahead, add this template here, and then boom, we have it. But where did the photos go? Well, this is because we added it over it. So now to the left, bottom left, where it says bring forward, send backwards, you keep pressing send backwards, and there you go. So now it's a matter of just adjusting these photos to fit the template, right? So let me just do this really quick. I don't want to make this, I'm not trying to make this perfect. I'm just trying to get you guys to see how we would really do it. But yeah, so I'm literally just pinching the photos down to make it smaller. Of course, you can always do this manually with the coordinates. So if you see where it says selected item to the right, you see where it says width and then 755 times height. You can always do this by just playing with those numbers, but we like to just do it manually with our fingers. It's pretty easy to do. So, all right, I'm pretty cool with that. It's not perfect, but this is just a demonstration to get you guys to, understand how to do it. And boom, there you go. This is really quick. So now I'm going to go to the next setting, which is capture mode. All right, what is capture mode? Capture modes it's the experiences that you're offering the people using the photo booth. So let's just say you want just the photo experience. What you're going to do is tap the GIF to make it not red, the boomerang, and the video. So when we go to launch, let me click that, right? I'm going to just launch. They can only do a photo. So let's just say you want to give your client all 4 experiences. You just go back to capture mode and you make sure they're selected, and then hit the drop down menu, launch event. Now they could do everything. So that is capture mode. So now we're going to go down below to the left where it says capture settings. And these are just the settings for those experiences that we selected. So let's start off with photo. Photo says the first one is before photo 1. These are seconds, basically meaning how many seconds do you want to go by before it takes the first photo. We like to keep that at 5, and then before photos, all others, that's just in between. I think 5 seconds is perfect, and then delay each photo, just showing the photo that was taken. 2 seconds is good enough. And then right where it says also generate GIF. This means that it's going to take those 3 photos that you're going to, Lumabooth is going to put on the template, also known as the print layout, and it's going to generate a GIF file where it shows photo 1, photo 2, photo 3, or photo 4, or if there's only 2 photos, it'll show 1 and then photo 2, and then it repeats it in a cycle. I like to keep it off. All right, then the next setting would be GIF. And again, the overlay would literally just be the artwork you want over the GIF. You literally would just go choose, and then you would select it there. All right, so rectangle and square. This is something I think is really important to talk about because this is basically what will be shown during the GIF. If it's a rectangle, you have to remember it's going to be long, right? This is when people use GIF, they end up complaining that they can see over the backdrop. One way to change this is to make it a square. That way it's not showing, it's not going up very high. It'll literally just be a square versus a rectangle. So play around with it, figure out which one you like the most. If you have a short backdrop, right, like a 7-foot backdrop or anything shorter than that, which you shouldn't, I would go square, but just play with it. And reverse, this button here, basically means that you can play the GIF forward and backward in a loop. And then again, now it's just down to the timing, right? Before photo 1 for the GIF, 5 seconds. Before all other, 5 seconds. Delay each photo, 2 seconds. Capture, 2 photos. So capture is basically how many photos do you want taken during the GIF. You can do 2, you can do 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 20 photos. My honest opinion, what you should do, I think 3 photos is the sweet spot. To me, 2 photos isn't enough. You know, when looking at the GIF, it's a lot cooler when there's 3 different frames. All right, now delay between frames. This is basically just the milliseconds, I believe. We just keep it here. And then now we're going to go talk about, let's just go through it. Video, countdown, right? This is, again, how many seconds before it starts recording. Video length basically is meaning how many seconds do you want it to record. So this is very important. I personally think 15 seconds in most cases is a little bit long, but it all depends on what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish. So if you're promoting this as a video booth and your booth is at a wedding and it's meant to have guests thank and not thank, but kind of congratulate the bride and the groom, you know, maybe a longer recording time would be good. But for most parties, in my opinion, the sweet spot's like either 5 or 10 seconds. You know, so that depends on you. I know, I think 5 sometimes is too quick, but sometimes 10 is too long. So, you know, that is totally up to you and what you want to do. And then quality, this is basically the quality of the video. The higher you go, keep in mind, it's going to take longer for that to send out because it's a higher quality. We like to keep it at 6, you know. I think it's a sweet spot. And then again, right here where it says save original video, if you don't have that checked, that means that it won't save the original video minus any overlay or anything that you have. So totally up to you if you want to do that or not. And then right below it, size, rectangle. Again, it's just how it is recording, right? Do you want it to record at longer? Then you would do the rectangle. But if you want a square, you can definitely select the square to make it a tighter frame. So we'll just leave this rectangle. All right, and then text, display text before recording. It's literally what is being shown right before it goes. So you could put get ready, right? So the people, they'll press the button and then it says get ready. That means that, you know, they're adjusting themselves. Or you can have it say, say something to the bride or groom, or you can give them kind of some command so when it starts recording they know what to say, kind of guide them. And then right here where it says before recording, you can choose some audio right here, right? We don't really do this after recording. We don't really do this at all either, like add, you know, MP4s. But you can also, to the right, where it says image overlay, you can put something over the video to, you know, just kind of more customize the theme. So like, let's just say it's a wedding, you can make an overlay that will match the theme. So you literally would just press choose, you'd find the overlay that you created. And what's really important with these overlays, you have to make sure that they're PNG. So that way, the only thing being shown is the artwork, not the blank spaces. You want the blank space to be transparent so that you could see the video, if that makes any sense. And then also, look, it tells you what dimensions you need it to be. So you see where it says image overlay, it says width 1280 px, which is pixels, and then height needs to be 720. So if you ever want to go to a square, the dimensions change. All right, so now we're going to go over the scroll back up here to the right where it says boomerang /360. This is if you're using this for boomerang or if you have a 360 booth. This is the setting that you would do. And if you're using this for 360, you guys, you have to go back to the capture mode, right? And deselect everything else minus the boomerang /360 because that's the only thing you're going to use. So just a little tip there, just in case you're doing 360. All right, so now let's go back to the capture mode, capture settings. I'm sorry. To talk about this again, countdown 5 seconds. That's just before it starts. You can have it save original video, and then there's a function here where you could say start capture when iPad is moved. So if you're doing a 360, you can literally start it when you grab it to make some motion and whatnot. We leave that unchecked because we're not really doing 360 here. You can configure the sensitivity. That's totally up to you. And then again, quality. It's basically size file, right? Definitely play with it, but just remember, if you are in a place where the internet is slow, this can cause it to slow down and potentially stop. So it all depends on you, on the quality. Play with it and see what you're fine with. And then down here it says size. It's the same thing. You can either do the rectangle or square. It's just changing the format on it. I really recommend everybody to play around with all of these settings, before doing your event, and see what works best for you. And then again, display text before recording. You could do get ready or type whatever you want in here, right? So you see, you can change it, but get ready is pretty good in my opinion. Kind of just prepping everybody that's about to use a booth. And then recording during text, you basically you could put recording, or you could say shake around, or dance, whatever you want it to say. And then right here, the button where it's checked, I'm unchecking it just so you can see. This is blink flash while recording with back camera. So, that's if you're using the back camera, right? And then the presets right here, let me scroll down a little bit. Basically, this is for like a 360 feature here, right? If you wanted to play slow, you would press that one. Or if you wanted to go fast to slow, you would press that. If you'd want it to go fast, slow to fast, that's what you would press, right? And then right here, this is the recording duration for the boomerang. Also could be for the 360. I think this is probably 3 seconds to me is what we typically like to do. You can play around with this. And reverse, you can have it play. If you click that, the video will play forward, then backward. We don't do that. So right here now, this is something I think is really important to do, right? It's the clip speed, right? So right now it's set to 0.25. That means that it's going to play pretty much slow. That's as slow it's going to get, right? 0.75. For boomerang, for me, I typically like to do this right here, 1.5. And then again, if you scroll up, now it's telling you that the final duration is going to be 2 seconds, right? So the boomerang will be playing for 2 seconds, but that's only because we're recording for 3 seconds. So if you want a longer boomerang, you're going to have to either slow it down here, it says clip speed, or you can raise the duration of the recording and then adjust the playback speed, if that makes any sense. So, and then again, you can do right here where it says choose soundtrack. That is if you're doing a I'm sorry, not boomerang, 360, you would choose a song to be played with that. For us, for the way we do our photo booth, we just have obviously the iPad booth, and we don't typically add a soundtrack to that. So we don't really mess with these settings right here. And then again, you could do an overlay if you want to add an overlay to the boomerang or 360 experience. Again, you'd go choose, then you'd find it, and then you'd apply it. But yeah, that is pretty much that. So next up is background removal. All right, so this is either if you're planning on using a green screen or my favorite, the AI background removal. I like to call it AI backdrop. So let's go ahead and press it on. All right, what's up, guys? Excuse the messy beard. So green screen basically would be, you would choose the color to remove. So, you can literally tap it. So if you go here, you notice how it removes, it removes the color of my shirt. Or let's just say, your backdrop is this color. Let me adjust this. You'd go to that. So this is up to you. Not many people I know use this function, the green screen feature. And again, if you wanted to add the background image here, you would just select it. So let's just pick a template here, right? So you could do that. But let's just talk about the AI background removal, right? This is what most people are going to use. So I selected the photo, and the technology here, right? What it's doing, it is cropping out the background and putting whatever file we want here. And I'm telling you, with proper lighting, this thing looks amazing. But remember, when you're using the AI background removal, boomerang and video, the capture mode, those capture mode experiences, it doesn't look the best. Because when people are doing boomerangs and videos, they're typically moving. And when they're moving, the software kind of struggles to crop out the background nicely. But if you're using it for photo and GIF, it works well, and it works really, really, really well. And what I love about this, you can add more than one overlay, right? Or a background image. So we could pick a few here. We're just picking templates at this point. So you can like add them. You can let them I'm sorry. You go to let them guest choose. Then you'd go here and choose them. Let me do this again, guys. This is going to be a pretty detailed tutorial here. So you can literally add them like that, right? So the guest can choose, which is super cool. We actually upcharge our clients to do this feature, and it's really easy to set up. So I'm going to keep this off. And we're going to go now to the next one, which is the effects. Effects is another way to say filter. That's what Lumabooth calls them, filter. So you obviously make sure you have it turned on, because if it's turned off, that's not going to be an option during them using it. And then right here below it says let guests choose or cycle through. Let guests choose is probably our favorite way to do it. So you can select the filters you want to be an option, right? And remember, look, if you want to do glam booth, right, you would have to make sure this is the only one selected so that you can get the glam feature. And for the glam, right, you'd have to turn this on, the beauty mode, and then you have the smooth skin and remove blemish filter meter here. The higher you go, the more blemish is removed, but I noticed the higher you go, the weirder it looks. I mean, it kind of looks a little bit too fake. I find the sweet spot for me is around 7 and 8. And it's super important to remember when you're doing glam, you need a white backdrop. That's where it looks the best. I always think additional lighting looks amazing with glam, and always have your photo booth subjects take a step forward. That way they're not really close to the backdrop and have really harsh shadows. And also, last tip here, I know this is very, very detailed, so just be patient. Do the camera settings to manual, and you want to overexpose slightly. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. So let's just turn this off, right? Let's just let's just add all of these filters here. So we'll just add it. All right, so now we're going to go the next feature here. And again, I'm sorry, let me backtrack. You can always do custom filters. I honestly have no idea how that would work. That's up maybe for another video, but we've never needed a custom filter. So we're going to go ahead and go next. And we're going to turn on the stickers, also known as digital props. So you see here, default, you can do custom. You can import your own digital props. And this is a shameless plug here. So Lumabooth, let me go back and show you Lumabooth. These are the stickers they have available out of the box. So you can literally pick, these props to be shown when it comes to the digital stickers. But just take a look at these. I mean, they're not the best, but they're not the worst. So, you can definitely make your own, or you can go to photobooth101.com, look under the prop section, and we have digital custom props available for Lumabooth. We have a wedding pack, quinceañera pack, Spanish pack, birthday pack, and they're only $3 a pack. And you would literally just download it, save it to the iPad, and then you'd go to choose, and then you'd find the digital props that we have, and then you can literally add them right there. So let's just use the default ones from here. Now, next up is camera settings. All right, welcome back again to seeing my face. So right now we have manual exposure off, we have white balance off, and let me talk more about these advanced features. So when it says manual exposure is off, what that means is if you click it manual, right, you now have to make sure you dial in the settings correctly, because how can I explain this? Manual exposure is good if you're staying at the event, because if you are dropping a photo booth off and the light changes in the venue, so let me just I'm just going to turn all of this on, all right? These are now set to manual. I'm now going to step outside where the lighting is different. So it's right now somewhat exposed for indoors, but let's see what happens when I move outdoors. You see how it's overexposed? If you're doing a drop-off and they change the lighting inside the venue, you have a problem. So now let me just show you. I'm going to turn automatic on, right? And again, your iPad would be in your photo booth and the lighting would be better, but this is just for demonstration purposes. Now I'm going to go outside, and it adjusted. So hopefully that makes sense. let's now go over the shutter speed and ISO. These are camera settings. White balance is obviously the temperature of the white of the color. You can literally Google and YouTube camera settings. This is basic 101 photography. Well, let's just go ahead and skip over to where it says advanced. You see where it says front wide angle? This is because we're using the front facing camera, and this is just choosing which camera on the iPad you want to use. So you can use the back camera, right? This is good if you're doing 360. Obviously the back camera has a better quality, better resolution typically with iPads. And if you go to front ultra wide, this is available on newer iPads. To me, it looks a little distorted, so we like to do the wide angle. So, if you have ultra wide camera on your photo booth is going to have to be like 2 to 3 feet from the backdrop, and everything looks a little bit distorted in my opinion. So, play with it, figure out which one you like the most, but I'm typically going front wide angle. And if your iPad isn't newish and doesn't have the ultra wide, you won't even see that option. All right, video stabilization, set if iPad will be moving, which it's not for what we're doing, but you could do that, I believe, if you're doing 360, and then you can always zoom it up. So let's go back to ultra wide. If you're not happy with the, if it looks a little fisheye, you can always crop it in and do all that. So that's an option here. All right, hopefully that was helpful. Let's go to print setup. This is if you plan on printing. If you don't plan on printing, just make sure you have this button right here unchecked. And if you want to print, this button is a good idea to have it checked, or you can just have it print automatically. But a little hack here is if you get hired to do a print event, I don't recommend doing automatic print. I like to let the guests choose if they want to print or not. This might save you some money down the line because not everybody that uses the booth may want to print. Sometimes they may want to just text or email the photo. So max guest copies. This is how many prints will be available for them to choose during a session. This is totally up to you. I know a lot of photo booth owners typically will do 1 print per session, so you could leave it to 1. But if you want to let them choose as many as they like, it goes all the way up to 100. Right? Obviously, too, here where it says the left side, where it says max event prints under general right here, 250. If you leave that at 250, that means that there can't be more than 250 prints during an event. You can easily just bypass that but by doing 5,000, right? I'm pretty sure you won't do 5,000 in one event. And then down here where it says printing, this is just what's being shown after you print the print button. You could literally have it say, exit the photo booth, it's printing now, or whatever you want to do. So again, same thing for here where it says display print button, where it says how many copies, you can change what it says. Okay, so let's go down where it says alignment to the left. This is important to understand if you're doing prints that sometimes your template you may need to align it, right? You may print it and notice that there's white at the top, right? So you could you'd come in here, you would adjust this so that the print is actually aligned correctly. So let's just say you print it and you notice that it's a little to the left. Well, then you'd come in here, you would adjust it to go to the right or to the left, just to hit that correction, if that makes any sense. You can always reset it too. So you'd have to play with this. All right, now to the right side where it says select print method. I don't want to dive too much into this, but these are the ways that you can print with Lumabooth. You can use AirPrint, right? That's if you have a printer that has AirPrint option. And then again, it says your printer will need to be on the same Wi-Fi network as your iPad. Then my favorite way to do it is Luma Assistant. I actually have a couple videos showing you how to print using Lumabooth Assistant that I will leave in the description. One showing you how to use a wired method where you don't need internet. One showing you a wireless one that does require internet. So I'll leave that in the description. And then you have the DNP WPS Pro, which is like a dongle that you would use if you have a DNP printer. Excuse me. We don't have the DNPs. We don't use that anymore. We have the high T printers. That's the one that we use and we sell on our website. So Lumabooth Assistant, from my experience, and all of the pros in the business are using Lumabooth Assistant, and this does require either a MacBook or a Windows-based PC. If you have a Chromebook, it won't work. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on to email/SMS. This is like the sharing section of the software. This basically is like after you take the photo or any of the experiences, what can they do with it, right? Meaning, you want them to email only? You would go turn off Instagram, SMS. Sorry, excuse me. So that means that they can only share it via email. So basically, this is you just giving the options on how they can share the photo. So let's just start with the email. So you could put reply to, right? Email address, and then the subject, you can change whatever you want in here. Meaning, in the email, you can say, here's your photo from the wedding, or here's your photo from Drew's photo booth, etc., right? And then in the body, this is where it gets really interesting. You can put, here's your photo, and then obviously there would be the link to the photo. Then you can also add in the body, if you'd like to rent our photo booth, please visit our website. You can put your website there or leave us a review here. This is something really you learn as you keep using the software, that there's a lot of ways to grow and kind of hack and not hack, but I guess kind of use the software capabilities to bring you in more business. And this is definitely one way. So, if you wanted people to go to your website, you can put, go to www.drewsphotobooth.com to reserve a photo booth, or, call us at whatever the case may be, right? And then, sorry. All right, let's move on to SMS. SMS means basically text. So if you want your guests to be able to text their photos, put their phone number into the software to get a text, you'd make sure that this is on. So in the text message, the body, it's going to say, here's your photo. You can put from the wedding, or the name of the bride and groom, wedding, whatever the case may be. Weeding, I put weeding from the wedding. And then return. Country code. This is important. You have to make sure you have the correct country code. So in the US, it is 1. So if it's different wherever you're watching this, you'd have to make sure that this is entered. And then where it says enter phone number, this is basically just giving the call to action to the person using the booth, right? And then send SMS, SMS. You could change SMS to text. Not a lot of people know what SMS means. And then for Instagram, I'm not even going to waste any time. Just turn it off. It's too long of a process for people to log in and do the Instagram thing. So we like to keep it email, SMS, and then next, another more sharing info here. So cloud sharing. If you turn that off, you lose the option to do upload original photos and get the QR code. So if you leave it on, you can literally have a QR code show up. You have to have internet for this, right? And people can click the QR code. It'll generate a unique QR code, and everyone that took a photo can scan it to get the photo faster, which is super cool. And then there's AirDrop function. I recommend leaving it on just in case you do a drop off, or the Wi-Fi stops. People won't be able to text, email, or get a QR code, but they can still AirDrop because it's Apple product to Apple product if they have an iPhone, if that makes sense. If it's a Samsung user, they can't. They need an iPhone. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, so now we're going to go to sharing screen. This is important here, guys, where it says timeout on sharing screen. This is referring to the amount of time that's going to go by before it goes back to the welcome screen, and the photo booth will be able to be used by a new user. You can set it to 300 seconds, but man, that's a long time. I like 30 seconds. I think 30 seconds is enough time, because if you have it any less, 29 is fine. We'll just do 29 because I'm dragging you with my finger. But if it's 10 seconds, 5 seconds, that means that if someone's not touching the booth and trying to share it, it'll go back. And if it's too quick, it could be an option to where not everybody got a chance to do it. 30 seconds, in my opinion, is the sweet spot. So 29, 30, same thing. So show original photos. That means, again, it'll have a little box where people can go back and look at the other photos that were taken. I like to leave that off. Display retake button. This is if they take the photo, and then after, if this is off, they'll basically just have to exit it out and restart it. versus there being the retake button to where it could just retake it and not have that photo get uploaded to the online gallery. I like to leave this on because not everybody that uses the photo booth the first time will be prepared, or they may not like the way their face looks and may not want that photo to be showing up. So we like to leave it on. And then WhatsApp, we leave that off, but you could literally have it shared via WhatsApp. So again, country code, but we leave that off. All right, next up is one of my favorite features, to be honest, on Lumabooth. Let me make sure the volume's up here. This is Virtual Attendant. Long story short, it is a voice activation of that tells you what's going on, or commands that can be said from the iPad to guide people through the process. So basically, if I press the photo button, it'll go, get ready. So let me just show you really quick. So I press photo.
Get ready.
That is what it is. And it will, let me go back here, Virtual Attendant. It'll kind of guide people on what to do. It's just really helpful. You can have the commands, right, where it says before capture. You can change the command. For instance, let's just go to the last one. Let's just say pick 3. Last one. So they understand that
Last one.
that's the last photo. So you can do it like this. You can also, where it says style to the left, you can change the voice. So let's just say you want a British female for some reason. You can literally have that like this.
Get ready. Bye-bye. Do you model?
So you can kind of hear the the accent there. But what I love is you can actually, let me exit that out. You can actually upload your own voice. So let's just say you're doing a wedding and you want to maybe customize this. You can have the bride and the groom read out commands, like tell them things to say. They can record it, send you that file, and you can cut it up and upload it here, which I absolutely love. So you just go to style and then custom, and then you basically go to where you can add it. You can add it like that, which is so cool. You can, I don't know. I think it's something something not a lot of people are using, and it's something I'm going to be implementing more in my rentals. So right here it says unselected, pick one. That's where you would add it. You could add the audio right here, where you just would click that. Then obviously you'd find it on the iPad and then add it. So let's just leave this to American female, and then again, after capture processing, you can have it say looking good, or after. I like where it says processing to do where it says share your photos, because then it's like, okay, now it's your turn to do something.
Share your photos.
So I think that's great. All right, so next is survey, right? And if you don't know, I'm literally just going through the whole list of everything here on the top. We started off at the left and we're working our way to the right, but Lumabooth has it down here where you can just skip to the next one. So survey is basically if you want to ask the guest to answer a survey. So if you want that on, you can make it required by checking this box. And the question could be like, what was your favorite part of this event? You can have a short answer or a long answer or multiple choice. Most people for most events are going to do this, but if you're doing an event for like a business to where maybe some of this, they want to get information from their customers, you can have this as a requirement. So I typically, for the weddings, birthday parties, and most events, we have this off. So next up is disclaimer. All right, so if you have this on, this is basically you putting whatever you want to be said in the body. Basically, you could use this to make sure that they agree to whatever is written here in order to share the photos. So, for example, right off the bat, it says right here in Lumabooth, I hereby grant name of organization permission to use my likeness in a photo, video, or other digital media. Basically saying that you have the rights to use this for marketing. You can even have a section to, even in here, you can add it to say, like, you also let us use your phone number or email for marketing for our photo booth services. You can definitely do that. We don't do it. We have it in our contracts that give us the model release to allow us to use the photos, and then also for the emails and phone numbers if you want to use that for marketing purposes. And if you didn't know, Lumabooth, the hosting website, which is photoshare.co, that's FOTO share, SHARE.co, you can have access to every single phone number and email that's being used on the back end. So again, look, you can basically configure this right here. I agree. That's typically what you would say, or cancel session, meaning if they don't agree, that they can't move forward for this. So we're going to turn this off. We don't really use this, to be honest. And then next is launch event, but there's a few more things here I want to show you. So, you know, we went over the first 3 columns. Now we're at right to the far right underneath more, sharing status. This right here is super important. Get used to, you know, after your event, before you shut everything down, click sharing status, because it's going to tell you if you have any pending photos. So if you're at an event and the internet stops, people can still use the photo booth, but they will be under the right side where it says pending, and that is no good. That means that people that put their phone number in or email address in, that those photos have not been sent out yet, because you need internet. And if you're ever in a situation where you see pending, all you do is you close the software out, like this, you swipe it up. You close it out, then you connect to a solid internet connection, and then you basically launch it again, right? And then once you do that, you will see the pending number where it says total pending go down, and they'll go from pending to sent. So just a little, little tip there, and it'll even tell you how many people, sent photos via email, SMS, how many prints, airdrop, and then etc. And then before that, below that sharing status is lock pin. Very, very, very important. This is the pin that you need to lock up the settings on Lumabooth. So I'm going to put 5555, right? So now when I go launch event, you notice how there's that drop down menu to the top right. You don't want that open, especially if you're doing a drop off. You don't want a customer to be able to tap that and then change your settings. That's terrible. Or even go through your old settings, right? Your old events, I mean. So what you do is you press the lock button. Now, if they want to get into it, they have to press the code. Hopefully that made sense. All right, and then account, it's just account information, literally telling you, how many devices you have, when does your subscription end, so forth, and whatnot. So below that would be about Lumabooth, telling you which app version you have, your language, if you want to do it in Spanish or a different language, you can. But yeah, that is pretty much it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and really quick, let me go ahead and run a photo session really quick, and we're going to go through all of the experiences so you guys can kind of give a little insight of what we just did here, right? Okay, so now we're going to go to a photo.
Get ready.
And obviously the lighting would be better if it was in an iPad. These photos are going to look pretty bad.
Okay, smile.
Photos from the iPad, lighting is everything. Everything. These
Say
photos would
cheese.
be unacceptable, but I just want to show you guys what it is. We got the virtual attendant counting down. And there we go. We had the 3 photos. And these are the filters, because these are the filters we selected. And if you don't want the filters to show up, you literally, remember, just make sure that it's off.
Ooh, looking good. Share your photos.
All right, and then now you can add the digital props, right? So if I want a martini here, or, I want to wear these glasses, you can pinch it to make it smaller, to make it bigger. You could definitely do that. But definitely, you guys, check out Photo Booth 101, the prop section. Our digital props are really, really cool. I really prefer ours over the stock ones. So let's just go next. And then again, if you don't want the props, you could just delete it. Then you go to next. And here we go. We have all of the ways that we have to share, right? So we have the email. You'd put your email address in. Then you'd get the email. Let's close this out. And SMS, also known as text. So right here, you'd put your phone number in to get the text. AirDrop, this is just for Apple users. And then the QR code. This may take a few seconds to load because each QR code is kind of created for just that photo. So you do need internet for that. And sometimes, depending on your connection, it could be fast, it could be slow, and then this is where you would print. So you see where it says how many copies, then you would press how many copies you wanted. And again, you can have it set to 1, you can have it set to 10, and then etc. So that is the photo experience.
Thank you.
And then the gift.
Get ready.
Remember, we set it to take 3 photos. Usually it's better if you have the poses.
Okay,
the poses
smile.
differently. So we'll just do this. Sorry if it's a little shaky.
Say cheese.
I'll do a little aloha, bro. All right, so now it's going to take the 3 photos, and allow you to do a filter for all of them, but it'll just show you one. So if you don't want the filters, again, you could bypass this step.
Ooh, looking good. Share your photos.
And there's no digital props here because it's a GIF. So just like that. And then you guys to the right, sharing is the same minus the print. There is no way to print because this is more of like a video file.
Thank you.
And the boomerang, I'm going to place this down here. Again, you could pick the filter, but this has to be done before.
Get ready.
So remember, the more movement, the better. And we had it for 3 seconds.
Looking good. Share your photos.
So I have it playing fast. You can play it slow. And again, remember, you can add overlays to the boomerang, GIF, and video. But for this one, we're just doing it without. And then the sharing is the same, minus the print you see on the right side. But again, look, real quick. You see up top that red line that is moving towards, well, it's like a black line, I guess you could say, and it's moving towards the right. Once this goes out, this is the count, the timeout. It's going to go back to the welcome screen. And I'll go ahead and let it wait so you can see. Versus hitting the X. So now no one's using the booth.
Thank you.
It goes back to the welcome screen. And this is exactly how we're able to do drop-offs because it's all self-automated. Okay, now for video. We're going to skip the filter.
Get ready.
And remember, we have it set to square. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Photobooth101.com.
Ooh, looking good. Share your photos.
Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Right. So you can pause it, play it, photo, and boom, right here to the right, all of the sharing options. So we're going to go ahead and exit this out.
Thank you.
And last but not least, you have up here next to the lock button, you have this little keychain thing. I clicked it. This is the link sharing. It's basically a link button, I guess. So you could turn it on from the iPad, and then all of the photos that were taken from your event, you can copy it here. Literally, you can even go to manage album, and then it's going to take you to photoshare.co. This is the hosting website for Lumabooth. I have a video showing this already, how to log in here and how to play with the events. But from PhotoShare, you're literally putting your Lumabooth email with your Lumabooth password. And then you can see all of the galleries. But again, link in the description if you guys want to see that. Thank you for watching this video. And if you guys want to get Lumabooth at a discount, below will be the link to sign up for the software, but you must be a new user. You literally can pay for the year, $195 currently. If you're watching this video at a later time, if it's adjusted, if it's higher, that is out of my control. But if you want a discount, sign up with the link in the description, pay for the year. Then after you do that, you're going to send me an email at photobooth101info@gmail.com. Let me know what email you use to sign up for the year. And again, must be a new user. I will send you an email as a reply with the link to join our group chat. You guys, the group chat has helped so many people struggling, learning how to do the printing or having issues with the software. We have support for you, but again, you have to follow those instructions. And if you want to get started in the photo booth rental business, we have iPad photo booths for sale at photobooth101.com. My company, I think we have some of the best iPad-based booths along with support, training videos, the list goes on. So that's photobooth101.com, also in the description. Thank you guys. See you soon.